hope this finds you well in living your best life in Jesus Christ. As a general rule, I don't watch much television or movies. I've always been of the opinion that time is much too valuable to waste on such things, although I do have a few things I occasionally stop and watch. More often than not, old television shows, which I know are clean. I much prefer the comfort of a good book, or even a bad one, to spending a couple of hours watching a movie. With that said, however, I admit to having a soft spot in my heart for the books of Ian Fleming, or more specifically, for James Bond. You may say, well, what does this have to do with the morning devotional? Well, it's like this. The other night I stumbled across a channel that plays James Bond movies 24/7. So, I'd finished my work and I stopped to watch a movie called The World Is Not Enough. And for the first time in my life, this title resonated in me and I had a thought. To the Christian, the world is just not enough, is it? I mean, in 1 John 2:17, John writes, "The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." We as believers have discovered that this scripture is relentlessly true. Nothing the world offers, be it money, power, prestige, you name it, means anything without a relationship with God through the resurrected Christ. Mark 8:36 tells us, "What good is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" It's not because the world is evil. I think that's interesting that some people seem to think that. I mean, the physical world is not evil. I mean, heaven forbid. When I read the Bible, I find that God created this world and that He created it, all that He created praises Him. There's a sense that the elements understand the glory of God, and this is particularly illustrated through the Psalms. The heavens sing His praises, the earth declares His wonder. Psalm 19 reminds us that the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the works of His hands, day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them, yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the end of the world. In the heavens God has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. But you see, as glorious as it is, our physical world is not going to last. I mean, this world is temporary. It's fading away. It's passing through time, just like we are. And even more temporary are the desires of us humans. The Bible calls these desires lusts, and it's not just talking about sexual lust. Lust is when you're consumed with getting something for yourself at any cost, disregarding the wants and needs of others. It's the epitome of selfishness. Even though God created this world and its inhabitants, humanity has done a great job of tainting it with its lusts, and that just leaves everyone unsatisfied. Those whose lusts are fulfilled can never get enough, and those who have been used to fulfill another's lusts are left hollow and broken, and everybody just ends up empty and wanting. Trying to build a meaningful life that gratifies self is like trying to hold onto a rope that's being pulled all the time. It will burn your flesh and rip your hands, and you'll be in pain. The great legacy of a world left to its own devices is selfishness and, frankly, eventual death. I mean, all these things are temporary, but we, as believers, are called to concentrate on the eternal. 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, "Three things will last forever, faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love." And Matthew 22:37 says, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, and all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important, love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments." So, what is the will of God? What lasts beyond the selfish grip of this world? Love. Faith, hope, and love. God has plans for you that involve where you live and what you will do, etc. But at the forefront of His will is for you it's who you will be, not what you will be or what you will own. He wants you to change your heart. The area we're called to live as is an instructive and inclusive life, not a selfish life. one that doesn't look out for ourselves but builds into others. God's truth is that a life lived for temporary things is just a waste. A life lived for God, on the other hand, is eternal. We're called to open our lives and share them and spread faith and hope and love around generously, because these are the only things that last. The bottom line is selfish gain dies with you, but the love of God stands through this life and into the next. I don't know about you, but to me, this world's just not enough. I want eternity. I want specifically eternity with Jesus. And frankly, that's the only life that's truly worth living. I hope you make today a terrific day. I want you to know that I'm here if you need me. And I love you all.